Welcome to Everyday Cooking. If you haven't subscribed the channel yet, please click the subscribe button and the bell icon to stay connected, and it is absolutely free. Today let us see 6 different laddus or sweet balls. In this, our first recipe will be the healthy and tasty carrot laddu. For this, let us fry the raisins first. Add 1 tablespoon of ghee in a pan. To this, add quarter cup of raisins. Fry them well. The raisins are ready, we can take it out now. In the same pan, add another teaspoon of ghee, and to this we are going to add 2 cups of grated carrots. Start sauteing the carrots. Saute them for about 2 to 3 minutes and add 1 cup of shredded coconut. Now keep the flame in medium and keep sauteing. Saute this for about 5 minutes and then add 3/4 cup of sugar. More or less you can adjust the sugar according to your taste. If you don't want to add sugar, you can go for brown sugar or jaggery. The sugar has to get dissolved completely, so saute this until the sugar dissolves. The sugar has melted. Now close this and keep it in low flame and cook for another 5 minutes. You can see that there is no water here, so this is perfect. Now add a quarter teaspoon of cardamom powder into this. And finally, the fried raisins. Close this and cook for another 2 minutes. This is ready now. To this, add a teaspoon of ghee. Now you can switch off the flame and let this warm down. Once the heat is bearable, you can make this into small balls. Our carrot laddu is ready. Next recipe will be ragi laddu. Take 1 cup of jaggery. Grind this to a fine powder. Now set aside. Take a pan, add 2 teaspoons of ghee. To this we are going to add badam, pistas and cashews, 5 to 6 each. Roast them well. The nuts are perfectly roasted. Take the nuts and set aside. Now add 1 teaspoon of ghee to this. We are going to roast the ragi flour in ghee. This is 1 cup of ragi flour. The flour has to change color and should give a nice aroma. Till then you have to roast it. Now we can add a quarter teaspoon of cardamom powder and the powdered jaggery. Now add the roasted nuts. As the jaggery melts, the flour will come together and it will be easy for you to make balls. In case if it is not combined, you can add some milk. At this stage, you can add about 2 to 3 tablespoons of milk. This is purely optional. Everything is perfectly combined now. You can switch off the flame. When the heat is bearable, make them into balls. Our ragi balls, our ragi laddu is ready. The next recipe will be rava laddu. For this, first let us roast the cashews. Add 2 teaspoons of ghee in a pan. To this add 7 to 10 cashews and 10 to 15 raisins. Fry them well. The cashews and raisins are ready. Now we can take it out. Set this aside. We are going to use this later. Next we are going to fry the rava. Add 1 teaspoon of extra ghee in the pan and add 1 cup of rava, that is semolina. Roast them well. Take time, keep it in low to medium flame and roast this for about 7 to 10 minutes. Once this is roasted, you will get a nice aroma. Now let us add 3/4 cup of sugar. If you want the laddu to be soft, you can powder the sugar and add into this. From here, keep the flame in low, you should not overcook. Now let us add quarter teaspoon of cardamom powder. You don't want to wait for the sugar to get dissolved, just mix everything. Next add the fried nuts and raisins. Mix everything quickly for about a minute and then add quarter cup of milk. Milk is used for binding here, so if you don't want to add milk, you can go for ghee. Mix everything and stir well till everything comes together. This is ready. Now switch off the flame and let this warm down. Once the heat is bearable, you can make this into small balls. Rava laddu is ready. Our next recipe will be split green gram or moong dal laddu. For this, add a teaspoon of ghee in a pan. To this, add about 10 to 15 cashew nuts. Fry them. We are going to fry this until lightly brown. Our cashew nuts are ready. Set this aside. In the same ghee, we are going to fry 1 cup of moong dal, that is split green gram. Once it starts changing color, we are going to add quarter cup of fried gram. Saute everything well until it gets a golden brown color. The moong dal has almost changed its color. You can switch off the flame and let it cool. After it cools down, transfer it into a mixie jar and make it into a fine powder. Our moong dal powder is ready. Let us transfer this into a bowl. Set this aside. Next we are going to melt the jaggery. This is 1 cup of jaggery. To this add 1/4 cup of water. Mix this and start heating this up. We don't want to boil this, just heat it until it melts. This is ready. You can switch off the flame and let it cool. Next we are going to add the fried cashews into the moong dal powder and a 1/4 teaspoon of cardamom powder. Mix everything well. Now let us add the melted jaggery into this little by little and give a nice mix. I have already filtered the jaggery. You can do this laddu in 2 ways. One is by melting the jaggery and adding into the moong dal powder. The other way is you can directly add the jaggery into the mixie jar along with the moong dal and make it into a powder. By that way, you have to saute the grinded mixture in a teaspoon of ghee again until it heats up. You don't want to saute it for more than 2 or 3 minutes. You can switch off the flame, and when the heat is bearable, you can make it into balls. That will be a dry version of this laddu, but both will taste so good. This mixture is almost ready. Now we can add 1/2 teaspoon of ghee into it. Spread the ghee well and make it into small balls. Our moong dal laddu is ready, and you can store this for almost a week, and you don't need a fridge to store this. You can put it in an airtight container and very well store it outside. The next recipe will be health mix powder laddu. Link for the health mix powder is given in the description box. Take some ghee in a pan. Let the ghee melt. To this add 3/4 cups of health mix powder. Saute them. We have already roasted the grains and cereals to prepare this powder, so this powder doesn't need to be roasted too much. Just give a saute for 2 to 3 minutes and then add jaggery. This is powdered jaggery, 1/4 cup of powdered jaggery. The powder and the jaggery should get mixed well, and once the temperature rises, the jaggery will automatically melt and mix with the powder. This is perfect. You can switch off the flame now. Saute for 2 to 3 minutes, that will be fine. Now let us transfer into another bowl and wait till it cools down a little bit. So once the heat is bearable, start adding boiled milk and give a nice mix. Add milk little by little till you get some nice crumbles out of it. This is perfect. Now let us shape it into balls. If you don't want to add milk, just add some water to jaggery and just heat it till it melts. Roast the health mix powder in ghee and then add the melted jaggery and stir nicely till it crumbles, and then make balls out of it. So the health mix powder balls are ready. Next, let us see how to prepare sweet sesame balls. For this, we need only 3 ingredients: 1.5 cups of sesame seeds, 2 tablespoons of rice flour and a cup of jaggery. Start dry roasting the sesame seeds. You have to roast this till it starts popping. Now I can hear the popping sound here and there, so I'm going to switch off the flame and I'm going to let this cool. After it cools down, transfer this into a mixie jar. Grind this coarsely. To this now add 1 cup of jaggery. and 2 tablespoons of fried rice flour. Again, grind this coarsely. This is ready. Now let us make small balls out of this. Our sweet sesame seed ball is ready. Hope you liked all the laddus. We'll join you in another interesting recipe and don't forget to subscribe our channel.